and we're going live. And maybe I ought to turn my microphone on. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. How's things going? I noticed I had a little buffering there a little bit ago. Hopefully it'll be be on track here and be working good. Let me get the co-host involved here. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, boys and girls, welcome the one and only grumpy vlogger, Lloyd Mendenhall. Hello there, Lloyd.
Hi. How you
doing? Now your audio sounds kind of low. Let me turn you up a little bit.
Hang on.
You guys hear Lloyd okay? As he sound a little low. Hello, Jim. Jim Crennan.
See if I do that, then I've got too much in my side. Hang on a second. Let me do this. How's that sound?
Hello, Trevor. Sounds a little low, but we'll work with it.
I don't know what happened with my audio. Yeah, it was working fine. Till I rebooted, and then it just went to crap.
Well, how are you?
Okay.
I said, how are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting glitching. It's, I don't know if it's my end or your side.
Well, I hope. Yeah, I'm seeing buffering. The stream keeps going offline on my end. This is...
Yeah. Is it time to switch your cards?
I did. I did that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
This is not the good start.
No, I think...
We're 45 minutes earlier.
Yeah. It's bad timing, maybe. Maybe we should have... Well, we couldn't wait any later because we have a guest that has kind of a time schedule to meet.
Okay.
So, guys, for a few minutes, it's liable to do some buffering. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
What's that, Lloyd?
Yeah. I was going to say, if I need to, I can back out, and that's one less input you got to deal with for a little while.
That might be the solution, but I shouldn't have to do that.
Well, no, but nobody can watch it when it's buffering every 3 seconds either.
Well, that's true, and it looks like it's doing some buffering.
And your guest is too important, then, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of the guest, what do you say we bring him on?
Let's do that. Let's get right to it.
Shall we? I'm going to let everybody watch you drink your coffee while I get him up and going here. And
yeah, I just barely got in here in time. I got back in here from getting my cup of coffee, and I looked and I had like 2 seconds left. All right, there we go.
There you go.
Guest.
Gabe.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Welcome to the show. I hope this works out because I'm stressing my internet connection to its absolute limit right now.
Luckily, I'm able to hear you guys all right. I'm not watching the YouTube feed, but for me, it seems okay.
Yeah. Unless you wanted to participate in chat, you can go in the feed and then do a pop out on the chat on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, so I can see the chat. Maybe I'll do that, actually.
Yeah, because there's going to probably be people asking you questions. But anyway, I need to do a little bit of housekeeping real quick. Chris Hope, thank you for being there, sir, in the background, posting all those links and all that stuff. Sonari, Jim Crennan, Trevor, Back from the Sky, Drone Shots Jody, Backwoods Droner, my little brother, Brent Nunley, T-Bird. That's all I see right at the moment. But looks like maybe, I think we got about 22 watching, but we are a little ahead of schedule today. So it is what it is. We had to do the scheduling this way to satisfy the needs of Gage, our number one guest.
I know, I'm such a pain. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right. You damn kids. Everybody, I'd like you to meet Gage.
Your browser, and it's designed to be super easy to use. So like right now, Mel's using vMix, but vMix is a pretty expensive program and you need a pretty powerful system. But if you're just looking for an easy way to go live without having to have expensive equipment, but to still be able to make a nice professional stream with that's why we made StreamYard. So I think people that into the stream, And then there's some cool stuff too, where comments come directly into the studio. You can show them on screen. You can change layouts, fun stuff like that. So and then it was news to us very recently that Hangouts was going away, and we've actually had a pretty big influx from that community, the Hangouts on Air community and the YouTube community in general. And they've been big fans and very supportive of us. And yeah, we're really excited to.
Well, it's a really easy to use.
All right. Okay, I'm out of here, guys.
All right, Lloyd, thanks.
So, yeah.
No problem.
So, Gage, what prompted you guys to make this in the first place? Because you made it before you found out that Hangouts was going away, right?
That's right. Yeah. So we've been running for about a year. We officially incorporated StreamYard July of last year, obviously. So it's been almost exactly a year. And the reason why my co-founder and I, Dan, started StreamYard is we had a lot of experience. We met in university, and we had a lot of experience just doing projects together, and making meeting applications was primarily what we had been working on prior to StreamYard. But live streaming always interested me because of what it did for the gaming community. I'm not super into video games, but I thought it was fascinating how that whole phenomena it had with Twitch and how big it became on Twitch for video games. And we thought that it would be that part of the reason why it was so big for gamers, but not really big for other communities. I mean, it's still somewhat big, but not nearly to the same scale as it was for video games, was because most of the technology out there is not that easy to use. It's more accessible for gamers who generally have really good gaming computers and powerful setups and are pretty comfortable with technology.
Right.
But if you have no interest in fancy computers and no interest in tech, like maybe you're just like fishing or you're just interested in cars, and you have interesting content you could create, there's this huge barrier for you where you don't want to buy the gaming computer, you don't have this fancy setup. So we thought maybe there's this whole demographic of people that could be making awesome content outside of video games if they just had a really easy tool to go live. And our experience from making meeting applications made it so that we were actually able to create StreamYard very quickly and make something that could go to market very quickly. And
Right.
that was the
Right.
whole idea for it. We wanted to make something that was super easy to go live with guests that anybody could just pick up and go and start live streaming, and maybe and maybe even use that as your first tool. So maybe you get really advanced and you move on at some point, but just make it so there's very low barrier to entry for people that want to start a live stream.
And it is a very good low level entry or entry level system. It works quite well. I participated in a couple of streams where other guys are using it, and it kind of turned me on a little bit. I thought, well, this is kind of neat, and I started doing a little research on it, and I saw how you can change the screens and stuff, and you can set it up to use with OBS so that you can use your green screen background in OBS and stuff, and still broadcast in this, and then that way you can bring guests in on your OBS stream, where it's a lot harder to do that with if you're broadcasting with OBS. So that fills a nice little blank void for the beginning, and even some of the more advanced stream creators.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got more advanced people that use it as well. You don't have to be. You can be like there's like part of like the whole thing that we shoot for, that we always say like our three priorities are like ease of use, stability, and professional looking streams. So even people that are very tech savvy, like sometimes you just don't want to deal with the whole setup, right? So you just want to quickly hop on and go live.
Right.
So for we have very advanced users, and some of them, sometimes they use something like vMix, sometimes they use StreamYard. It sort of depends on the type of stream they're doing. And sometimes they just want something that's quick and easy, and that's when they generally go for StreamYard.
And I do that too when I don't want to run a lot of data. Like, I almost did this stream tonight with StreamYard instead of vMix, because I wanted to see how it would handle on my internet, because my internet has some limitations, obviously, as you can tell. I'm using Verizon wireless data, and I've got a pair of Yagi antennas mounted 3 feet apart at a 45-degree angle from each other, 50 feet in the air, and I got 50 feet of coax cable that big around coming down into the house, connected to
Wow.
the router, and then the wireless router, of course, feeds internet to the house. But I've got a Cat 6 cable plugged into it to my computer, so I don't lose any signal through the walls or anything because I'm running cable. But it's
Yeah.
it's it leaves a little to be desired, to say the least.
Yeah, it's not exactly fiber. Yeah.
Yeah, I just set a friend of mine, my ex-girlfriend Sonari, I just set her up with fiber. I helped her get set up with that, and we got a really good deal for it through AT&T where she lives, and she's got 300 megabits per second speed connection, and she's got 1,024
That's pretty good.
gigabytes a month. And because it's fiber, it's symmetrical, so she's got 300 up and 300 down, and it's phenomenal.
Right.
And I'm thinking about moving to
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Fiber's the way
you know?
to go if you can get it, for sure.
Well, I live so far out in the woods that I can't even get DSL or cable. I can get a landline
Right.
phone, but they don't offer DSL on it. If they did, I would use that,
Right.
because at least it would be faster than what I've got, and it would be more dependable than what I've got. But it is what it is, so that's all I can do.
You got to move. Got to get
And-
that fiber.
And satellite's not an option. They'll give you 50, 60, 100 megabits a second download speed, but up to 3 megabits upload speed. That's good for sending email.
Yeah, satellite
you know?
internet. I've never used it before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
For email, it'll do the job.
yeah, for email it would work, but for uploading, it would take an hour and a half to upload a 3-minute
Live streaming,
video.
probably not gonna work.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not going to work. So right now on the free version, and you plan to continue the free version, I presume. But on
Yep,
the
we
free
plan on
version,
keeping the free version.
You can have up to 5 guests plus yourself, so a total of six cameras on screen.
That's right.
And-
Yep, like Brady Bunch style, and then you can full screen certain people if you want as well. But yeah, you can have up to 6 people in the
Right.
output feed.
Right? And do you plan on expanding on that in the future for the free version, or are you going to leave that at 6? Or am I putting you on the spot too much?
Yeah. So right now it's 6 on all. Right now it's 6 on all the versions. We've considered increasing it. It used to originally be only 6 people in the studio as well. We actually increased that recently to 10. So it's only 6 on screen. You can actually have 10 people in the room, so you could like swap people in and out if you wanted to.
Right?
But it does come up quite a bit that people want more guests. It's something that's possible that we'd consider doing, but there's other things that are higher on our priority list. If we did increase it to 10, we'd probably put it on all the versions. We probably wouldn't have it be like, oh, free 6, paid is 10. We'd probably just keep that number the same across the board.
Might I recommend on the business side to change that, because that gives people an incentive to
Change
buy,
it.
you know?
We've got, that's true. That's a good point. We do have other premium features though that I think will be enough to convert the people that are looking to convert. Like the
that
people
really-
that want
that
10,
really
I
want
think
the
that's not
premium.
necessarily the selling point.
Right.
Yeah. But maybe we'll do that for business sake.
And how long do you think, I know you and I talked about this yesterday or the day before, how long do you think you would be able to incorporate NDI into StreamYard so that we can bring it into OBS or bring it into vMix or Wirecast or some other future
Yes.
platform?
Yeah, so NDI is, I mean, I know what it is. It's not something that I'm intimately familiar with, so I'd have to do a bit more research on it. My co-founder, Dan, is also a bit more familiar on that side of things. I'm guessing before we implemented something like NDI, we'd probably allow the other direction first. We'd probably allow an RTMP input. So if you wanted to say you had your vMix feed or your OBS feed, send that as an RTMP input into StreamYard. That's probably what happened before we added NDI. As far as when we'd add NDI. I'd have to do more research on what all would be involved with doing that, but
Right.
it's a
Right.
possibility. I know that when we talked or when we spoke, you mentioned that Skype had that as an option, and if Skype has it as an option, I imagine it's not too difficult for us to add. But I don't have a timeline for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just it would just be fun to be able to utilize it for people. See, like when I set up this particular version of vMix, it's vMix Pro, so I can bring in up to 8 other guests. I can have a total of 9 on the screen.
I'd be curious to see that with your internet if you could pull that off.
I was going to say, assuming I had the bandwidth to back it up, but I might get them on there long enough to get a still shot and actually show, hey, I had 9 people. No, but being able to, like Lloyd, he has a lesser version. He can only bring in 1 guest at a time through vMix call, like you dialed in. And
yeah,
that's typically me because I co-host with him on Monday nights and he co-hosts with me on Sunday nights. So if we wanted to bring in another guest, then I would typically bring them into mine and then feed it to his. Okay?
Right.
Because vMix to vMix has the ability to connect and directly without using vMix call. So I can run my backdrop, my green screen and everything, and I can pipe that into Lloyd's vMix directly. Like he was piped in tonight, he was using a green screen and a desk and all that. So he was connecting directly to my vMix, which probably uses even more bandwidth.
That's pretty cool that you can do that remotely. That's interesting.
Call. Yeah. And in fact, with vMix, and I'm sure you can do this with Wirecast as well, maybe with OBS, I'm not sure, I'm not certain, but if you had a green screen behind you right now, I could chroma key out your green screen and put any kind of background I wanted behind you. I could make it look like you were sitting in front of my fireplace next to me.
That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
So the ability to do chroma key in StreamYards would be a phenomenal advantage for a lot of the people. Just to put a
that's one that comes up quite a bit as well as chroma key. The if we add chroma key, we'll probably make it where we'll have 2 versions of StreamYard, essentially like a downloadable version and the browser-based version, because doing chroma key is a bit easier to do when it's not just in the browser. But it's definitely possible. Unfortunately, it is a bit more intensive on the computer, and we have quite a few users who have really bad computers, but you don't have to use it. So it's probably something that when we start adding more features like that, it'll be something that we package up into a more into a downloadable version of the product that would be for people that have more powerful computers.
That would be phenomenal. That would be way cool, and I know people would appreciate it. Do you have any other little tidbits that you can throw out there, or pieces of advice for people that are thinking about using StreamYards, or have you got a hook, something to really hook them in and really make them want to use your stuff?
Sure. One thing that come as I guess if it has to be a hook is I challenge you to try it out because it's the easiest thing. I think you'll be shocked how easy it is. You just go to the site. You don't even have to type in a password to remember. We email you a code. You use the code, and you can start broadcasting. If you're going quickly, I'm guessing you could sign up for StreamYard, connect your account, and go live in probably 5 to 10 minutes. And then that's the longest it will ever take. Once you've got StreamYard set up, it's by far the easiest way to go live compared to any other solution, I think, other than maybe just going live from your phone directly to YouTube or Facebook or something like that. But as far as involving a guest, it's by far the easiest way to create a broadcast involving guests. But as far as like a tidbits about what's coming, one request that has come up a lot is the ability for guests to see the YouTube chat, and that's coming probably within the next week. So I think there's a couple people here that I've actually spoken to before. So if you're one of the people that have requested that, it's coming very soon. Everyone will be able to see YouTube comments right from the StreamYard studio.
Oh, the YouTube chat, you mean? Is that what?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because as it is now, if you're a guest, you have to kind of do it like you did with Google Hangouts on Air. You have to
That's right.
pop the chat out and put it off to the side so that and a lot of people, if they're using a laptop or whatever, they don't have a lot of real estate to do that kind of stuff with. I'm sitting here
Yep.
with in my studio, obviously, and I've got 3 monitors sitting in front of me, and the main one's a 42-inch. So I've got plenty of real estate to divide things up with. So I don't have much of a problem with that. Hello, Jim Wallace. I see you popped in there. Well, that would be a really cool feature for the guests, the people that are on the stream connected in the program, to be able to see the YouTube chat and participate in the YouTube chat without having to go actually watch or have the YouTube stream running also in the background on their computer. That would be a huge
absolutely.
benefit.
And another reason why we're excited about it too is that it's also often like a point of confusion for people that have, because they often don't have good internet, right? So they pull up YouTube to see the comments, and then that's even more draining on their internet, and it's just a bad experience. So I think the comments coming right in, so they don't have to have anything else open, is definitely a good thing to have.
And one thing that a lot of people don't realize is once you do pop-out chat, and I'd like everyone to take note of this, it's in the chat right now. Once you pop out chat, if you're involved in a stream, whether it's in StreamYards or Zoom or any other kind of GoToMeeting type platform, pop out chat from the YouTube channel. Typically you have to mute the sound on the YouTube channel anyway, or you get feedback and you hear double and all kinds of things. You open up a rift in the hole in space of the time continuum and it's a mess. But once you pop chat out, you can actually just close that YouTube channel window. You don't need it open anymore. You pop out chat, it opens in a second browser window, and it will stay connected even if you close the YouTube video down. So that eliminates some of the drain on the bandwidth if you're fighting with bandwidth and trying to participate on a stream.
Yeah, so that's a solid tip for sure.
Exactly. So how long did it take you guys to develop StreamYard?
How long did it take us to develop? So we incorporated in July. The site went live in late October. But when the site first went live, it had almost none of the features it had now. It went live in a very basic, bare bones form. But as far as to develop the first version, it was probably 6 months. We were able to do it relatively quickly just because we had so much experience with VoIP applications and meeting applications.
Right. Yeah, the VoIP.
So it was mostly the things that took the longest were just the UI and design.
That background is probably very helpful. And your UI is very friendly.
Yeah.
I like the way you can change screens, bring someone in full screen, bring 2 people in side by side, and I like that. It's no brainer. It's push button. You look at the options and you say, oh, I want these 2 guys up, or I want this guy up full screen. You click on him, you click on that, and boom, he's full screen. So that was really, really good on your guys' part, that you made it idiot proof almost, if you will.
Thanks. Yeah, it's we did a lot of testing with that because Dan and I, neither of us have any experience with UI, so it took us a while to get it right. But we basically just found the least technical people we could find, like our grandmas and friends that didn't know how to use computers, and put it in front of them and change things until anyone could figure out how to make it work. And that was sort of our design process.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes that's the best way to go. I do have another question, and I know there's at least one person in chat that's going to laugh when I ask you this, but why a duck?
Yeah, I don't have a nice, heartfelt, inspirational tale for the duck. The reason is I've always just liked companies that had animal logos. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with MailChimp. I'm a big fan of their logo. Um, DigitalOcean, I'm a fan of their logo. There's a few others that I'm a big fan of. But the name StreamYard, and StreamYard just means like a place for building streams, sort of like a lumber yard. And ducks are
Okay.
backyard animals that also hang out in streams. So it's a StreamYard duck
Well,
is what
there
we
you
went with.
go. There you go. You ended up with a duck in the yard then. And I just
There you
got
go.
one little message for the grumpy vlogger there. Lloyd, bite me. Anyway, what are some of the future plans? Maybe can you share anything that you guys are developing now that's going to be your next big hit? Because this is going to be a big
Yeah, we're
hit.
trying to keep it. We hope so. Yeah, we have had a huge influx from the Hangouts on Air community, so that part of it's awesome. We're trying to keep the main thing we're working on sort of under wraps. We're going to have a very big release in. I can't give you for sure, but most likely towards the end of August, we'll come out of beta and have a big launch, and that's when we'll have the biggest feature we've ever made. Is when we're going to release that. But that's sort of going to be a surprise. But I can tell you some of the other things that are going to go along with that feature. Is one of them is like profiles for branding. So I don't know if we actually mentioned this yet, but on StreamYard, you can connect various destinations. So you can connect like a Facebook profile, a Facebook page, a YouTube channel.
Right.
And for each of those destinations, you can customize it with different overlays, choose your theme color, make a background. So we're adding a feature where you can sort of organize those. So you can have like, oh, this is my main profile. This is my grumpy vlogger profile. This is
Right.
this channel profile, and you'll be able to share assets between them. And we're also doing the same thing with our banners, which for people that don't know what those are, on StreamYard, you're able to just type out like a, hey, buy my book or whatever your call to action is, and then click it, and it shows like a lower third across the screen. And so
Right.
we're giving the same options for those where you can sort of organize them and put them in folders and things like that. You'll also most likely see multi-camera relatively soon. So if you've got two web cameras and you want one camera pointing at like, we have a lot of artists that use StreamYard. So you've got one camera pointed at what you're drawing and another one at your face. You'll be able to do that. That's probably coming 4 to 8 weeks probably.
Yeah, that would be
And then
nice to
other than
be
those, we're
able to
sort of
do
heads
things
down
like
on,
that.
yeah, for sure. And then
Yeah.
other than that, there's just one big feature that we're keeping secret, and that will be hopefully mid to late August and that will be part of our launch.
Okay. Well, if you need some beta guinea pigs, I might know where you can find a couple.
Yeah, I'll give you. Yeah, I would. That would be awesome.
Um, that would be fun to be in on the and see the actual growth of it and stuff. Um, well, I know that you've got to get ready for another show in about 20 minutes, give or take. So I'll keep you as long as you can stay. Um, but I don't want to put you under pressure for your
Yeah, I should
next.
probably head off in probably about 5 minutes. I probably got about 5 minutes, and then I should probably prepare a bit for
Okay.
the next
Okay.
for our
Well,
town hall that we do for StreamYard.
let's go to chat and find out if anybody's got any direct questions for you. I don't know how bad the lag is now. Hopefully everything is caught up with itself since
I
I
think I saw one question about RTMP into OBS, and the answer is yes. So on StreamYard, you don't have to go directly to YouTube or directly to Facebook using our integrations. We also have a custom RTMP option. So you can just whatever. So say you've just got some server that you want to send the stream to, as long as it has an RTMP key and URL, you can enter that information on StreamYard and then send your StreamYard stream to that server or that platform, wherever it is you want to send that the stream to.
there's another
Let's see if
question,
there's any other
Gage.
questions here.
When do you think there'll be a download version? Do you think that'll be soon or later, more likely?
That's probably later. Definitely not within the next 12 weeks. We've got everything planned
So
out
so
for at
maybe
least the
early
next 12
next
weeks.
year.
Maybe early next year, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Um, Anybody else have any questions for Gage before he has to depart? and definitely I'm seeing a couple comments about being able to run more than one camera. There's a lot of I've seen a couple people talking about that, and depending on which setup I'm running right now, I've got 3 cameras set up. So yeah,
Wow.
that would be kind of cool.
Personally, I think I'd usually just use one, but I can definitely see if you have like a crafts channel or a drawing channel, how that would be necessary.
Yeah, I'd be able to switch between a front camera and a facing down camera or a side facing camera or something.
Yeah.
I do that occasionally. Let me see. I don't have any input set up to do that right at the moment, but I can go show you what I mean. If I can find it, camera 2 right there. Let me put that up, and then I'll just fade that over to there and bring in camera 2 so that people can see my studio, what it looks like. I've got a table over here with a whole bunch of RC stuff sitting on it. I've got, the other camera that I have is set up kind of behind me so that you see all 3 monitors, everything going on, my different toys that I can play with and so forth. And that's kind of neat that people can see what's going on in the whole studio when they're doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think Above and Beyond asked, OBS has stream services listed. Do we RTMP it to StreamYard? So, no, that was one of those features that I was saying that we might add in the future. But right now, it would be the other direct. So instead of OBS, you'd be using StreamYard, and you could use StreamYard to send it to an RTMP server if you have one.
Right. So it would
Anything
be
that
like
accepts an
setting up,
RTMP input.
yeah. So you would use StreamYards the same way that you would basically using the RTMP server side of when you go on the GoPro app and you're going to go live from your drone. To go live from your mobile device right now, unless you have 1,000 subscribers or more, they took that feature away from you. YouTube did. So
right,
we got around that by using an RTMP server connection in the app that runs the software for the drone, and then we can actually go live from that mobile device now with less than 1,000 subscribers. So some of the guys that have done that,
it works exactly like that. Yeah.
I've done it. I know that Chris Hope has done it. I don't know if Claude has done it yet or not, but I know there's a couple of guys that have used the RTMP server to connect to YouTube so that they can go live from their drone, actually live video feed from the drone while they're flying. So that's kind of cool. There was another, I thought I saw something else. Oh, CD. Is it just gonna be a downloadable version, or will you put it on a CD, or it'll probably just be online, right? Just a download version?
Yeah, it would just be online. So most of the functionality we're never getting rid of the browser version. So most of the functionality will, if you don't want to download anything, will always be in the browser. Same with guests. That was really important to us, is we didn't want guests to have to download anything or to have to log in with anything, as long as they just had a unique URL. So the browser version will always be an option. It's just if we want to add more advanced features like a chroma key and things like that, we'll probably also have the option like, hey, would you like to download StreamYard? And it will just be right from the website. There won't be a CD or anything like that.
Sure, and then that'll be a nominal fee where they can pay a small amount of money, probably of some sort, download their own version. They can do their chroma key stuff, and then it would still connect through the server so that they can still bring in guests the same way.
It would work almost the exact same way. The only difference would be is just when you're running directly on the computer rather than through Chrome, you just have access to more of the computer's underlying hardware compared to the access you have in Chrome. That would be the only difference and the only reason why we would actually do it.
Got it. And is there a discount? Jim Wallace wants to know. Jim, it doesn't get any better than free. I'll discount it to you. I'll give it to you for nothing, buddy. Just for you, today only. What a bargain. Well,
yeah,
Gabe,
you'll be stuck with the duck in the corner, but yeah, you can definitely start.
That's right. You're stuck.
Or use it for free as long as you want.
Yuck in the duck in the corner in the backyard.
Yep.
Well, Gabe, thanks very much for coming on and talking about it and sharing some information about it. and there's, based on the chat in my channel, and I don't have that big of a following yet. I'm not to 1,000 subscribers yet, but I do have 23 people watching right now, and some of
That's
them
pretty
are
good.
already somewhat familiar with StreamYard. So
Yeah, Claude. I think I messaged Claude earlier.
yeah, it was actually Claude's stream that I was on the other day when you and I ended up getting connected up later in the day. But it's a good solid platform. I think it's going to work well. I'm kind of excited about it, and I'll actually be
Awesome.
using it on times where maybe I don't have a lot of data room left on my data supply, and I can't run this whole big production outbound, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It is good for that. If you have not super solid internet, StreamYard's a good option for that. We sort of have optimized for people that don't have a great setup.
What would you say the like as a general rule, for me to be able to broadcast by myself with vMix, I need 5 megabits upload. What do you
So
what would
yes,
you
that's
say
a
it
good
would
question.
be
So
with, if you're just running the camera up to the server on standard
yeah,
StreamYard? 1.5?
yeah. So if you only have StreamYard open, and you don't have any other craziness open, and the most important thing is also having a solid connection. So like as long as you're plugged directly in, not using Wi-Fi, and there's no one watching Netflix at the same time or anything like that. It's just you on the internet. Sorry, there's very loud bikers coming by. If it's just you, then you only probably need a couple megs up, and depending on the number of guests you have, a few megs down. You don't need a very fast internet.
Okay, so probably the usual 7 to 10 down and 1.5 to 2 up would probably make it work
Yeah,
then.
probably exactly that. That would work. As
Awesome.
long as it was, as long as there wasn't other people on the internet, that would be totally fine.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds good. Everybody give the chat a thumbs up for Gabe, and a great big round of applause. And thank you very much, sir, for coming in and joining us and talking about it and making yourself available.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Have a good evening. Thanks everyone who's out there watching. It was I enjoyed being on the show.
That's fantastic. Absolutely sweet. Thanks for coming in, and we'll talk to you some more.
Yeah, absolutely. See ya.
All right. Thanks, Gabe. Bye. Or Gage. I'm sorry. See ya. Okay, everybody. What'd you think about that? And let's see. Ron? Hope I didn't lose Ron. I hope Ron's still there. But yeah, Lloyd, that worked. That seemed to have helped the stream quite a bit, having you bounce out. I think it did anyway. I don't know. Nobody's complaining anymore that it's buffering or anything, but so hopefully it's good to go. Reverb has issues resolved itself on Claude Stream. How does it resolve itself? That's kind of interesting. I think Gabe was in chat. I'm not sure. I don't know if he was or is or whatnot, but you had a bird to look for? Yeah, you're funny. Funny, funny, funny. Ron, are you there? Calling Ron. Hello, Ron. Yes, Jim, I could stream my studio through StreamYard if I wanted to. Angela, welcome. You just missed the first guest, depending on when you got here. We might have lost Ron. I hope not. Ron, if you're there, log back in, log out, log back in, come back in and join us. And in the meantime, Lloyd, if you want to come back in, I'll turn your stuff back on here and you can come back in and visit with everybody for a few minutes, because we may have lost Ron. I'm just picking at you, Trevor. It's all good, buddy. Oh, wait, there's Ron. Ron, I need you to log out and back in. Gonna make a change and let's see, turn that off, turn that off.
Can you hear me?
Turn that on. Oh, yeah, we can hear you. There you are. I think we're gonna get Ron back in here if I can get him to
hang on a second.
log out and back in.
All right. Am I working?
Yeah, you're working. It's there.
Okay. All right, good. And I do not know what was going on with my mic last time, but after I logged out this time and logged back in, I didn't save the set after I did that, and I came back on, the mic's working fine now. I don't know. Go figure.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Right now I'm trying to find Ron's camera input that I set up for him, and I'm not finding it on the list. Number 43.
Oh no.
There it is. Okay. I'm going to put that there so that if he does make it back on the... Ron, I need you to log out and back in, buddy. Log out and back in. Use the same password. Lloyd.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to play a video. You want to see a video?
Yeah, I do.
Do you? Okay, I'm going to turn your audio back on, and I'm going to let this video play. And because I'm sure there's people that have not seen this video yet, and I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to see it, and I'm going to also put the link in chat where they can go find it and watch it, because it's a crazy video. You've seen it.
Yeah.
You've seen it more than once.
I see that girl. I think of one of those big blow up things, you know, that you know, they have out in front of car washes and stuff, or filling stations.
Right?
Yeah. And it's lagging.
This video, gang, was shot by my little brother, Backwoods Droner. I helped him with the edit, and I helped him with the color grading. We sped it up here because it was about 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes, and we didn't want to play that long. So while this little pontoon boat's just zipping across the lake, we speed the video up a little bit. And no, she did not take her top off. She was wearing a dress. Why she was wearing a dress out on a pontoon boat, we don't know, but she had 2 guys with her, and she's wearing a dress on the pontoon boat, so it was kind of interesting. Ron, I don't see your camera. But now notice, I'm going to pause it right here. Notice the altitude of the drone, gang, and notice the possible obstacle up ahead. What's that, Lloyd?
I said, and what is up ahead?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
So just pay attention to the altitude of the drone and pay attention to the obstacle or possible obstacle, because it gets very interesting. And yes, we did get the drone back, obviously, because we have the footage. Okay, cool beans. Now I can see Ron's camera. So Lloyd, after we finish this video, I'm going to have to kick you out again so I can bring Ronnie.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem.
What do y'all think of that? That was less than 6 inches from the top of them highline cables, guys. That's probably 530 kilovolt transmission lines right there. And I'm going to pause this right when we get to the power lines. That's literally how close he was to that. Just absolutely, I mean, couldn't have been any closer and still miss it. But that video right there is courtesy of Backwoods Droner. And again, I'll post a link to his channel in the chat so that everybody can get a look at it. And so that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of how that went. He's absolutely lucky he got his drone back.
Yeah, and I'll bail off here for a minute, and you can bring Ron in, and then if you want, I can come at the end of the show, or he can finish it out with you.
Well, when we get
a nap.
When we get done with Ron, we'll bring you back.
Okay.
If you want to come, if you'd rather go take a nap, you know, how dare you take a nap during the end of my show?
Yeah, he's laughing. Okay. Hey, Ron.
Hey,
We'll get out
how
here
you
before
doing,
we kill
Lloyd?
his hillbilly bandwidth. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing real good. So.
Good Lord.
I'll get off here before
I love it.
back. Yeah,
It's something else.
I'll be back here. Yeah, it's starting to lag, so he just can't handle me. I'm just too much for him.
Yep, that's what it is. All right, guys. All right, Lloyd. Thank you. Ronald, how you doing, buddy?
Mr. Mel, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, apparently doing better than my internet.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was me or what was going on. I had a hard time connecting tonight.
Yeah, it was definitely on my end, bandwidth issue. Very cool.
Oh, okay.
Quad gods were looking out for him, yep, that's for sure. There's another link to my brother's channel so y'all can go give him some views on that video there. But anyway, howdy, Ron. We're here.
Howdy.
We made it. Finally a Sunday,
we made it. Yeah, and I got the day off.
What a bonus. It doesn't get any better than that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So here's what I thought I'd do. I'm going to let you just talk about some things, and I'm going to switch the screen over to this right here, and you'll be able to see what's going on. And as we get to each image, you can kind of just talk about it and tell everybody what's going on there.
Okay. Well, for those who don't know, I work for an air med service in both in North and South Dakota. I live in Rapid City, South Dakota, and this actually was picture was a couple of years ago when I initially had joined with the company and during my orientation process. But this is on top of the helipad here at in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We have a fleet of 4 helicopters and 4 fixed-wing aircraft. We cover 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5 states. Rather large healthcare system. And one of the problems, Mel, that we encounter, up here in the Dakotas is, a lot of healthcare in some of the areas are very sparse, if that's the correct word. And air med service is very important, up in this area. Our ultimate goal is to get our patients, to definitive care. I said I love the company here that I work for. They have just taken such great care of me. I've been in this business for about 30 years now. Started out in southeastern Pennsylvania. Actually started out in western Pennsylvania, working as a volunteer. And a friend of mine got me to move just outside of Philadelphia, actually back in Ken Herron's neck of the woods where he grew up, and worked for a flight program there for 22 years. And all of a sudden, due to some politics and finances, the program was shut down. There were some folks there, fortunately, that were there to help. And I raised my hand and said, "Hey, I'm not shy. I need some help. I have a brand new mortgage, and now I don't have a job." So what I wasn't expecting was to go from one coast to another. I ended up in Southern California. Yeah, yeah, it was a little bit of a culture shock, but just what a great experience. So I left Pennsylvania, and I said I had so many experiences there, everything from working ground ambulance to being, at ground zero and being involved in the 9/11 rescue efforts. And there I was, in 2011 is when our flight program shut down, and I found myself in California. I felt very honored the first job I had there. I had worked on a military base. We were considered to be a civilian contractor, and a military base called Fort Hunter Liggett. It's about an hour south of Monterey, and our job was to be there and protect the soldiers of the U.S. military. Sometimes they had 5, 6, 7, even up to 10,000 troops, on the base, and it was on 60,000 acres of property. And our job was, to be there for them. They did a lot of high-risk training there, and then once their training was over, a lot of them during that time period went over to Afghanistan and Iraq. I was never in the military myself, but I that was kind of my small contribution to my country, I guess, if you could say. And then I decided, I'd like to come out to the Midwest here. I had been in South Dakota many times before, and I really loved the area. I had come out for a year, went back, ended up in Nevada for 2 years, and now I've been back in South Dakota now about 3.5. Absolutely love it here.
That's where this picture here was taken, South Dakota?
South Dakota, correct. Yeah, that was on the eastern side of the state. Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, it's one of our 4 helicopters that we have. I said it's a joy to work in. It's pretty big inside. There's lots of room. There's the fixed wing, one of 4 King Air 200s that we have. That photo there was actually in Billings, Montana. We fly quite a distance. We've gone as far as Southern California. We've gone to the East Coast. We've gone to Florida. In the fixed wing.
That's a twin turboprop with, I'll bet that's a shitter and getter, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It giddies up and go. I think our cruising speed is actually about like 275, maybe a little better at times, depending on your winds.
Right.
But yeah, but like I said, with the distance of some of the transports that we do, the fixed wings come in very handy. We find ourselves going to Minnesota, to Rochester and St. Paul, to the Mayo Clinic, big healthcare system there. We find ourselves going there.
Typically stay below 10,000 or above 10,000 feet?
No, we're actually, we fly almost completely IFR. And on the average, anywhere from 15 to 20. Yesterday we were up around 26,000.
Oh, okay, so pilots and passengers are on oxygen then?
No, it's a pressurized cabin.
Oh.
This particular fixed wing. Yeah, the fixed wing is pressurized, just like your regular airliners. Now our fixed wing, our rotor helicopters, on the average we're flying 2,000-3,000. The altitude here in the Dakotas, well, up in North Dakota, it's only up the most a couple thousand feet. Down in South Dakota, you're looking at around 4 to 5. But again, helicopter, we're usually just staying up at a couple feet or a couple thousand feet AGL.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the next image. Tell us about this
Yeah.
one.
This is a photo, actually in the back of the helicopter. Kind of gives you a little bit of a perspective from the front end of the back cabin towards the rear doors. It is a rear loading aircraft. We have a stretcher in there that's almost identical, very similar to an ambulance stretcher. The patients are actually loaded in through the back doors. And so we have a crew on the helicopter. We have a crew of a paramedic, a nurse, and a pilot. On the fixed wing, we have 2 pilots and paramedic and nurse. I only have about 4 or 5 years of fixed wing experience. Most of my life and career has been in helicopters, and that's probably over 25 years of helicopter experience. Which actually is my joy, something I really truly enjoy, but yeah, very reliable aircraft. It's big, it's powerful, just a real joy to work in. And I've worked in several throughout my career with different companies. And this particular model is called the EC-145.
Right.
And I said the rear cabin is about the size of your average ambulance in the back. So there's lots of room, lots of leg room, lots of, accessibility to your patient. And we carry quite a bit of, equipment in the back. The best way to describe this is we're almost like an emergency room or an ICU, an intensive care unit, on rotor blades or on wings, so to speak.
Right. Pretty much handle any kind of emergency that gets thrown at you.
Correct. Yes.
Well, let's take a look at the next picture. This, I'm presuming, is one of your hangars?
Yes. This actually is a long time coming. This is a brand new building in Dickinson, North Dakota. This is primarily where I'm at, Mel, because of the geographical location. This is, I said, in Dickinson, North Dakota. It is a brand new building. We've only been in there 3 months. And the outside is not done yet. They're in the process another 2 weeks before they do all the asphalt work and paving and whatnot. They're working on a runway up here right now, and we're told within the next couple of weeks they're going to finish all that. Unfortunately, our airplane is a couple hangars down, so when we get a flight, we've had to make some accommodations to drive down to that building, take our equipment down, and depart out of that hangar. But in the next couple of weeks, which is really going to be nice, we'll go literally right out of our living quarters, right out the door, and right into the plane and go. So it's going to speed up our response.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's amazing.
But this is the front side of the building here. Really beautiful little facility. I said just finished. I think we moved in like 3 months ago. But we got a beautiful living quarters, bedrooms, hangar. Yeah. This picture here is just to kind of give you this may look a little familiar to you, Mel. You got some fixed wing experience, but this is actually in the helicopter here. One of the things I'm really proud of, with this company is they have top-notch state-of-the-art aviation equipment and avionics, especially the planes. They have just upgraded all of the planes within the fleet to a device called the G1000 made by Garmin. It's a several $100,000 setup, but this navigation system is just unbelievable. Everything that it does. I mean, we can watch weather, bring up approach plates and frequencies, and do all of our IFR approaches. It looks like a giant video screen up front,
Yeah, exactly.
And this is, I said, in the helicopter here, but it's got pretty close to the same system, just a little bit more miniaturized, So.
Yep. Let's move on to the next one. This is probably a supply room of some sort.
Yeah, this is our supply room, and this is, I said, in our new building, and which is really nice. Where before we had this building, we had our equipment spread out in about 3 different places. And now everything is in one room. when we are when the building is finally, you know, paved outside and the apron is done and where we can actually house our plane inside our building, we'll literally walk out of this room 10 feet out the door and right into the plane. But all of our supplies, our medications, we carry quite a bit of stuff, everything from, you know, monitors, you know, IV supplies, medications. We carry blood, believe it or not. One of the first flight programs I've ever worked for that we actually carry blood on board.
Well, that's kind of an important commodity when needed. It's nice to have it on hand. And it looks like
don't use it that often.
I'm seeing a barcode scanner and system stuff there, and it looks like you guys are able to keep really good track of what you have on hand, what you've used. I'm sure that that's all very important too. Yeah.
I said it's a great setup. This is our new little living quarters. This is just a living room, kind of what I guess you call the common room. I said it's all brand new. It's our little kitchen, and we have full kitchen facilities now, where before in the old building we had a microwave. That was it. You know, now this is just maybe a third of the building. And I said each crew member on duty has their own bedroom. The pilots have a flight planning and weather station room, you know, where they can constantly monitor weather and do their flight planning, you know, once the flight. Correct. Yeah.
Amazing. And I remember you talking about your night goggles, your night vision one time. Yeah. Here you are with the bug eyes.
Yeah. This is this is something I will never do again without. When I first started flying, of course, back in Pennsylvania, you know, we didn't have the gigantic mountain areas that we do out here, but vision goggles we wear on the helicopter, and it's just amazing. Don't quote me. I think they're around a generation 3, generation 4. Not 100% on, you know, I think the military now is up to like a 6 or 7. I'm not really sure. But it's amazing what you can see with these goggles. But yeah, flying at night, because, you know, we come into, you know, accident scenes, and, you know, there's so many things you got to look out for, wires and trees and, you know, what have you. These goggles are an absolute godsend. Yeah, and now that I've worn them at night, I'll never go without them. So
exactly.
Yeah,
I get
love
it.
them.
I get it.
Yeah.
Pentagon building.
Wow.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Wow.
9/11, 2001. Never forget it.
Yeah. I will never forget it. The short version of this, Mel, is we had a contract with one of the, when I was working in southeastern Pennsylvania, we had a contract with one of the local trauma centers / burn centers in just outside of Philadelphia. And somehow or another, the strangest thing that happened that morning, I thought everybody in the world is grounded. My boss came upstairs and said, I need you to, meaning my partner and I, to push the helicopter outside and empty it. And I said, what for? We're not going to go flying anywhere. He goes, just do what you're told. I said, okay.
All righty then.
So, yeah. So my partner and I pushed it out. It was on a dolly. And then we had a big Kubota tractor that we used to push it in and out of the hangar. And so we did what he said. I tapped on his office door and said, mission complete. I went back upstairs to my office, and, you know, an hour later, he shows up, comes up and says to my partner and I, he said, you don't have to, I can't force you. He said, but I would really, really, truly like one of you to come with me. He said, we have been requested to take medical supplies to the Pentagon. This was about 11 o'clock in the morning. And my partner, she had this frightened look on her face. And I said, I'll go. what we did was we went down into, and I want to say it was Burlington. I said it's been a few years, but we went into New Jersey and went to a medical supply warehouse. And there was people waiting for us there. We landed in the front yard of this warehouse, and they just loaded up with boxes. And then we proceeded to the Pentagon. Scariest flight I was ever on in my life. It was so eerie because the airways were so quiet, and I'm not used to that.
Yeah, that's when all of the every flight was grounded.
Right, exactly. Yeah, very scary, but yeah, that picture is about a quarter mile out, at about 400 feet. But we come in and landed right in the front yard of the Pentagon, and delivered supplies, to help them. It was unbelievable. I mean, to this day, I still vision, you know, making that approach. And I'm like, holy cow, I can't believe this.
Right. Right.
They say everybody remembers what you were doing on 11. It's kind of hard to forget.
Yep. Yep.
But
Exactly.
yeah.
I get that. I absolutely get that. That's an amazing career and an amazing job you do, and my hat's off to you because it takes a certain breed to do what you do.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and it's been a great career. Been a lot of fun, and there's times there's sacrifices you make. There's some dangers to the job. And I guess one of the sacrifices you make. I mean, just particular job that I'm at now. There's pros and cons. I have a 5-day work schedule where I leave home. I'm gone for 5 days. If I had a family sitting here, that would be, different. But
drag this story out for about 60 to 90 seconds, okay?
Okay. Yeah, just you're away for 5 days, and then I'm home for 9. So, being away from home sometimes, and the only other thing that we really encounter up here, Mel, is the weather can be really brutal in the Dakotas. Sometimes we are subjected to anywhere from 20 to 40 below zero weather, and that can get pretty tough sometimes. Working, but yeah, I love the job. Love the opportunities, and I've flown in about 17 different states throughout the United States, and it's awesome. I truly love it, and wouldn't give it up. Wouldn't give it up for the world. Yeah. Mel, are you still there?
Are you there, Ron? The stream has died. Oh no.
I don't know if anybody can hear me or not. Mel, he left him hanging.
Huh?
Oops, hang on.
No,
You left him hanging and he bailed.
I told him to keep keep the story going for 60 to 90 seconds.
He went on about 3 chapters. What the hell? Jeez, Mel. For God's sakes.
Oh my
That's why I
God.
jumped on here. You killed the guest.
I killed the guest. God, I hate when
Yeah.
that happens. Oh no.
Jeez. You couldn't cross your legs for a few more minutes?
No, I couldn't.
You should have told him. Say, hey, I got to take a,
Well, that's what I did. I said,
You told him to, but you didn't tell him that I'll be away. Jesus, Mel. Dead air.
So what did I miss? It looked to me like the
You
stream
missed the
went
end
off.
of his story and him saying, Mel, are you there? Are you
No,
there?
the stream actually went offline. Like it's offline right now.
It's running.
Well, it doesn't look
It's
like
still-
it's running. I'm getting all kinds of lights blinking in and out.
Yeah, well.
Man.
Oh. Yeah, it's, yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah, it's, I didn't mean to bump, well, I didn't bump him. He just like, Mel, are you there? And the screen went black because you had him on full screen. So
Right.
there was, if you'd have left him on small screen, you could have, you could have at least, everybody would have known, oh, Mel went to get coffee or do something.
yeah, I had to go check the stream. Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, that was it.
See, Ronald, that wouldn't have happened if I'd have been here. Mel's not as professional as I am.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Everybody says it's fine.
Well, no, it's
Well-
not. It's not looking fine on my end. I got red light and buffering on my end. So,
Yeah.
anyway, maybe if I stop recording. Yeah, it's okay,
You're
Ron.
recording this?
We got the gist of it, and I didn't mean to leave you hanging.
You got to give him warning ahead of time. Say, Ron, I need you to hang in here.
Lesson learned.
As soon as I get some hats in, people will be getting some Grumpy Vlogger hats. But yeah, I'm a retired pro.
On
Now
my
I'm just
stream health,
retired.
it's a red light, Lloyd. It's not even yellow or green. It's
Well-
red on the output end.
Yeah, you're probably smoking it pretty hard. So
Yeah, I am.
and you've gone on an hour and a half.
Well,
so-
now I know why, because Ron just came back in too.
All right, let me bail out, and you put Ron back on. And don't.
I mean, now
at least
there,
it was
Mel?
on your show, not mine.
Yeah, we got you, Ron. We got
Because
you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
In 90 seconds, you'd still be there when I got back.
Yeah, I was talking, and then all of a sudden I'm like, Mel, oh Mel, where
Yeah,
did you go?
I turned my mic off
Yeah.
when I got up so that everybody wouldn't hear all the racket and everything. But it's all good. It's okay.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad you came back in, because I did want to, like I said, it takes an amazing person with a special set of skills to do, and people like me appreciate you.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate that, Mel. And I said it's a career. I said almost 30 years. I've worked both ground and air. I've worked in some pretty shady areas. I was stabbed one night. I've been shot at in some pretty rough neighborhoods. And again, you take some risks, and I said you make some sacrifices for your family sometimes. And I still remember when I was married, I'm not a cop, but when my wife would see me putting on a bulletproof vest to go to work, she would just get upset. You know, she
Right.
hated it.
Right.
You know, but that's who I am. You know, this is the type of work that I love doing for 30 years. You know, to kind of, in a small way, you know, Mel, to turn things around back towards you. One of the things I wanted to take the opportunity tonight, you know, not only yourself and people like Claude and Ken and so many others, I'd like to express my gratitude to you for the things that you guys do, because I think there's a lot of behind the scenes things that people don't realize, just how much time and effort and knowledge and probably money and stuff that you guys, you know, on YouTube that you spend to help educate us, to help, you know, with this hobby that everybody loves. You guys spend a lot of time with that. I know you do. And I enjoy learning from you guys.
It can be a lot of work,
you know,
but it's only
it
work
is,
when
yeah.
it's not fun.
Yeah.
So.
You know, and, but yeah, that's my other passion is, you know, going out and flying drones and, well, that and I have a second job as a professional hunting guide in the state of Wyoming. That is my third passion, so to speak.
I'll bet
that's my stress relief. And we all in this line of work, we have to have a stress relief.
Sure.
And, you know, that's what I truly enjoy. You know, I'm hoping that somebody like yourself or, you know, Lloyd or anybody, anytime, seriously, you guys ever want to come out this way and see the beautiful Black Hills in South Dakota, make sure you get a hold of me. I will hook you guys up, and I'm told I'm a pretty good tour guide.
I'm going to plan a trip up there maybe next spring.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Wait for the snow melt. I don't necessarily need to be tromping around in the snow. I have no desire to do that. I grew up in it. I know what it's all about. Something under 10 years old, I'm going to guess in the 6 or 7 year age range. My folks lived in, it would be, I believe it was Mansalona, Michigan. And we had a snowstorm come in one night that was horrendous, and my dad opened the front door to go to work, and the snow was drifted up over the front door. You couldn't get out of the house. And so me being the little tyke that I was, he took me upstairs to my bedroom, opened the window, and chunked me out like a football. And I landed in a 15-foot deep snow bank, and you know, it was all discussed. You know, he told me what we were doing, and what the plan was for me to make my way to the garage to get a snow shovel and dig out enough to the top of the front door so that he could get the snow shovel in the front door, and then he shoveled snow into the house to dig a hole to get out, and then had to shovel the snow back out of the house.
Wow.
But he got us, you know, got the door opened up and cleared out, because literally when you opened the front door, it was just a wall of snow. That's all there was. You couldn't see outside at all. It was incredible. And so I remember plowing snow with the front bumper, you know, and stuff. So yeah, I'm done with
some
that.
People some people do get a misunderstanding of the Dakotas. This year was not a good year to try and, you know, fight for that cause, but we had snow up till the end of May.
Well, that's global warming.
Where a year or two, a year or two ago, a friend of mine was here from Pennsylvania, and he was 2 days he was 8 hours late getting here and a day late or too late going home because of storms in Pennsylvania. I let him out on the curb at the airport in Rapid City. It was 64 degrees on February 15th.
Wow.
You know, we had the year I moved here, September 12th, 96 degrees. I thought I was going to die unloading that U-Haul truck. Yeah. September 12th. Yeah. October 1, 4.5 feet of snow. And October 2nd, it was 75, and we're out there in T-shirts shoveling. So wow. It's so unpredictable.
Yeah, exactly.
But, and you know this, Mel, it's in less than half a day's drive, you can be in several of the the most prestigious national parks in the nation: Yellowstone, the Tetons, Glacier. It's the Badlands, Mount Rushmore, Devil's Tower. There's just so much to see here.
Yeah.
I have 6,000 miles of connecting ATV trails right in the national forest across the street from my house. It's awesome.
It's a rough life. Somebody's got to live it, though. You know.
It's tough, man. Somebody got to do it, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're doing some pretty good flying too. You're getting some pretty nice videos going.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And that's one thing I try to encourage anyone that would come out to visit. It's kind of like a drone-friendly state. As long as you stay out of the national parks, you're fine.
Right.
It's a 2.5, 3 hour drive up to the Bighorn Mountains in central Wyoming. You are miles in the middle of nowhere, and if you run into someone, you're lucky. But it's so beautiful. The canyon walls are just so big.
Yeah,
there's nobody going to come up and say you're. Yeah. No one will be telling you, hey, you're invading my privacy, or.
There's a lot of places up in that neck of the woods that I'd like to go flying sometime.
Yeah, love to have you out. I think what you ought to do is grab Lloyd. Come on out. That'd be a hoot to have you two out here.
You can't handle both of us at once. Rapid City can't.
I'm willing to give that a try.
Well, you just never know.
But it'd be
what's
fun,
gonna
though.
happen. You just never know what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
But
Thanks
for being on.
Mel, it's an open. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing
open invitation.
all of your insight and stuff, and I appreciate the invitation. And you as well. You want to come
thank
down
you
here
again.
and see what the heat and humidity's like down south? You're welcome to come on down.
Now you're close to Nashville.
About 100 miles. 100 miles
About
to
100
Nashville.
miles. Okay, I may take you up on that.
100 miles to Nashville, 125 miles to Memphis, about 500 miles to New Orleans, 500 miles to Dallas. So there's a lot of stuff, about 750 or so miles to Tampa, Orlando area. So all reachable within a day's drive, a good long day's drive. So.
Well, cool. Yeah.
It's
I may take you up on that.
There's a lot of area that can be reached from right here where I'm located. Same thing with Michigan. That's a day's drive. Everything's a day's drive from here. It's just about centrally located for the eastern half of the country. So it makes it kind of.
So you're only about a day's drive to Claude's place then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't even be a long bad day. I mean, I could get up and have coffee and breakfast here and have dinner at his house easily.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't be terrible at all.
Yeah.
Lloyd says if we're up there together, who's going to bring the bail money?
We'll work something out.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. But well, again, Mel, thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate you letting me share.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't make myself more clear there when I had to leave the seat for a minute, but I just couldn't wait anymore. Had to check the stream, man. Had to go check the stream. But anyway, and I come back and it's dead. There's nothing going on. I'm like, oh no, what happened? But, anyway, I appreciate you. Thanks for being part of the show, and
thank you.
Thanks for everything you do. You make a difference. In this world.
All right. Thanks again, Mel.
All right.
Sure appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You guys have a nice evening now. Bye-bye.
And that's the end of that for Ron. And now maybe we can get Lloyd to come back in for a few minutes if he wants to. Yeah, you probably need a lot of bail money for the trouble we'd get into. That's probably true. No doubt. Absolutely no doubt that's true. But Lloyd, are you going to come back in for a couple more minutes, or are we just going to pull the plug on this thing? Over an hour and a half. Minus Kelly will have bail money. There you go. Yeah, Kelly will have money at bail money from spin up. There you go. Yep. But so what'd you guys think of Gage, I mean, and all the stuff we learned about StreamYard? Hey, Palladian. Looks like we got some extra people in chat. Roosevelt, Fly Natural, welcome. Washington County News Station. Who else came in late? That looks like about all. I think I've seen everybody else. Or Artco, welcome, Art.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, it's about time, you old fart. What took you so long?
Oops, hang on. Audio.
About left me hanging here by myself. Shame on you.
Well, it's called lag. I'm watching it on the live stream, and you're. Hey,
I know.
Don't talk about leaving people.
Let me just mute your mic. I'm just gonna mute you right now. Just.
You left Ron hanging, man. He's a guest.
I know it. And to the two guests that we had tonight, thank you both very much for coming in and being a part of the show.
Absolutely. They were top-notch guests. I had been following Ronald Lockwood for, God, it seems like from about the first time he put a video up. I just happened to run onto him, and I go and check it every so often, and it wasn't until here a while back he and I ended up on a panel together joking around. I realized, oh, wait a minute, I've been following him out, and it's like the penny dropped,
Right.
Like, I knew who he was, but he looks just a little bit different in his picture than he does in person,
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, I'm just as ugly both ways, so I can't hide who I am.
Yeah, unfortunate, you're right, that's true. No, Ron, thank you very much.
Thanks for agreeing.
Thank you. Well, hey, who am I to doubt you, why would I disagree?
Oh, by the way, guys, in case you don't know, this is the lunar excursion module that 20 years ago 50 years ago, it just seems like it was 20. 50 years ago yesterday on the 20th, they landed on the moon. And Judy and I watched the live replay of that last night. And it was, in a lot of ways, it reminded me of when I was a young man, a young person. But it was completely new because I saw stuff differently. I look at it as an adult now instead of the excitement of a kid. And if you get a chance to watch that on the NASA channel, you need to watch it because I guarantee you all those flat earthers and other nutcases out there, no offense to you, to each their own, but if you've seen it the first time and then you see it again, they certainly do better in Hollywood than what they did with that. So
yeah, that's no doubt. That's absolutely true.
But they played it last night time for time, and I remember sitting there going, I stayed up late to watch this, from what I normally would because of the time zone that I was in. And it was just like Judy and I were both talking about, well, what were you doing when that was going on? We were talking about different things, but they played it exactly time for time as it happened yesterday.
Awesome.
So that was an amazing thing to watch.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, do you have any new thoughts about StreamYard other than Duck?
About what?
StreamYard.
StreamYard, other than they need to get rid of that duck? No. Actually, yeah, I did check. While I was off air from you, I was checking, and you can do a test, which was set up a test studio just to test it out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's
and
actually
I didn't
pretty
know
user
that.
friendly.
Yes, it is.
You
It
can,
is. It's got a lot of features.
yep.
And I know Jim Wallace was asking about a discount. You can't get him better than free.
That's what I said. I
And
told him. I said, I'll get it for you for free, Jim.
yeah. And there are some features that I've looked at, some of the features that come with a monthly fee, and it would be well worth investing in. You know, it would be, you get what you pay for, okay?
Yeah.
It's actually, you're getting better than you pay for with this.
That's unusual.
It is. And so that was good having him on and being, I don't know if he'll want to, if you want to get in touch with him and come on my show tomorrow night or not, if we can do it that way. I may go ahead and set up a, because you were going to do that tonight, but things didn't work out because of the bandwidth issues. So what I may do is set up a stream through StreamYard and run it that way.
Well, you can do both if you have another camera.
Yeah,
You can assign
I don't
one
have
camera.
another camera.
Oh, well, if you wanted to do both, you'd need a second camera, so you could assign one camera to
Okay.
StreamYard and one camera to vMix.
Right. The only
And then
thing
you
I've
could
got
actually
is my phone.
then you could actually stream both to YouTube, probably. I don't know if you can stream two feeds to YouTube at once. That would be an interesting experiment.
I don't think so. I think they have to be, because we discussed this with Dennis Lovelady, and they have to have one will kick the other out, or vice versa.
Oh, will it? Oh, okay. Okay.
I think so. But it doesn't mean what. I'll play around with it a little bit tomorrow. Oh, Judy's got a doctor's appointment tomorrow for her CT scan. It's that time of year again. It's for her biannual CT scan for her cancer to make sure it's still in remission. We'll find out next week, but tomorrow's the scan, and that's like at 3:30. So I may not be able to get to set everything up. That's why I did everything today. So maybe running just a few minutes late tomorrow.
Yeah, that's quite all right. And I don't know what my day's going to entail tomorrow. I presume that I'll be home in time at this moment, but I'm
That's right,
unsure.
you start a new job.
And we'll discuss that later. But
Okay.
I don't know what my schedule's going to be. I know I'm going to
Okay.
be up early and gone, and going to be gone most of the day. So
All right.
we'll just have to see how that goes. And with
Okay.
that, I think. What do you think? Is it time to start the 5-minute get out of here clock? If I can find my mouse.
Just one more little thing. Somebody sent me this, and I just thought it was really cute, so I'm gonna pop it up here.
What do
Wasn't
you
cute.
got going
It's
on?
apropos, and let me put this on here real quick. So, beings we're talking about space travel and Area 51 and all of that. So, yeah. I just
Everyone
thought
want
I'd
to
throw that
raid
up there.
Area
If you wanna
51 to find aliens, but mad at ICE for doing raids to find aliens. That's an interesting thought there, Lloyd.
I thought it was.
Yep, that's kind of an interesting thought.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Well, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start the countdown timer, 5 minutes down to 0, and I'll leave the chat run for about 5 minutes, and we'll call it a night. What do you think?
That works. Yeah, I was just catching the chat. So, absolutely. Yeah, we'll call it a night, and thanks everybody for being here. Keep an eye out for my notice of the exact time tomorrow, and catch everyone then. Okay?
All right. We'll
Thanks
see
for
y'all
having me, Mel.
Thanks for being here. Off and on. And
Off
off and on. And on. And we'll see everybody in chat. Okay, everybody, that's gonna just about wrap it up for tonight. Thanks so much, everybody, for being part of the fun and part of the channel. You guys are why we do this, you know, just to be a little bit entertaining and
Yep.
walk away and leave our guests hanging and make everybody wonder what the heck's going on.
Slacker.
Slacker, I know it. Terrible. But anyway, thanks everybody for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. Lloyd, thank you for being here.
Anytime, Mel. You know that.
All right, buddy. All right, everybody. We're gonna hit that exit button and pull the plug and turn the lights off and all that good stuff. So
Thanks to Chris Hope.
thanks. Yeah, Chris Hope, thank you very much. Thank you, Lloyd, for reminding me. Everybody have a good night.